you're not confused yet, you will be when you take a look at this place. This is the Consumer Electronics Show held this week in Chicago. All the manufacturers come here to show off their version of what they think is it. The manufacturers will do just about anything to make their products stand out. Their goal is to attract the attention of store owners and buyers for retail stores. 90,000 of them are here. They're trying to decide which electronic products to buy so they can resell them to us later.
We just try to outguess the public and try to determine what we think they're going to like and take a chance.
Everyone's in video now.
If you don't know what to buy, how are your customers supposed to know?
I golly, they'll buy what we buy for them.
What are you going to buy?
I didn't buy anything. I'm mixed up too.
High tech is what they say they're here for, though it's interesting. Conventions will be conventions. The longest line is made up of people waiting to get an autographed copy of Playboy. Not that the product displays weren't interesting. Memorex has an exhibit bragging that its videotapes can break glass too. Let's see if it can. Works. Now, other companies' tapes would break glass too, right?
Sure, I believe they would.
Pioneer is selling a jukebox that plays not just music, but music videos. And they're also selling a special lounge chair that pumps sound into you as you watch TV. Speakers are built into the chair. But the big seller is still the video cassette recorder.
No cassette is inside. No cassette.
This year they have a machine that talks to you, and a VCR that lets you set the machine to record programs up to a year in advance. Now, I don't know why anyone needs these things. Perhaps more appealing is the sound quality of the new machines. Hans Fontel is audio-video critic for the New York Times.
Up to now, the sound portion on all VCRs has been pretty crummy.
Until now.
The hottest VCRs this fall will be hi-fi stereo machines. Be warned, stereo and hi-fi stereo are not the same thing.
Stereo merely means that you differentiate between left and right, that you got two channels. Now, both channels can be lousy. High fidelity means that you get clear, natural sound over the full range from the lowest bass to the uppermost highs.
The new hi-fi machines have that. Also new this year, an 8mm format that lets you use a smaller cassette. Before 8mm, we had a choice between beta format or VHS format. It doesn't much matter which you buy. All will give you a good picture, but you should know that the machines are not compatible. That means they won't play tapes recorded on another type of machine. So if you're buying a VCR, it's a good idea to buy the same format your friends own. Then you can exchange tapes. Today, most Americans own VHS machines. And don't get hung up on brand names. There are 22 different brands, but all of them are made by just 7 Japanese companies, and much of the basic equipment is standardized. Now, if you're confused about which equipment to buy, some stores will solve the problem for you by selling you a video room. This one's at New York Video. It has all the state-of-the-art technology, including a 10-foot TV screen. It's all yours for $59.99. That's $59,990. Now, obviously, you can join the video revolution for a lot less. Today, you can buy perfectly good VCRs for $300. If you want to try one out first, many stores rent them for $10 a night. Renting is also a way to make sure you have the newest equipment because the technology keeps changing. Soon we'll be seeing stereo TVs, tiny screens, 2- and 3-screen TVs, still fancier cassette recorders, even a TV that lets you participate. A company called ACTV has come up with a system that lets you make some of the decisions a television director would normally make. For example, watching a music program like this one, if I want to change the shots, I can do it with this activator. If I want a tighter shot, I press a button. Press the button again if I want to see the backup singers or the band. I call the shots. But wait a second. Ultimately, can we control all this technology? Or will it make us more passive and change our society? Stuart Ewan teaches communications at Hunter College.
We are talking about a society which over the past 50 or 60 years has increasingly defined life as something which took place in the home, increasingly sitting in front of electronic equipment. It kind of encourages a sort of political and social passivity, which I think is very dangerous to the lifeblood of democracy. I think when you have a society which generates a culture of passivity, the question of democracy really begins to be pushed further and further aside.
John, on a practical nature, I wonder if some people buying videotape recorders have the problem that I have, which is that I own one, but it's so complicated, I don't know how to use it.
They are complicated, and there's a lot of confusing information out. When we come back, I'll have some practical advice on how to get the best use out of the machines.
Good. Maybe I'll learn something. We'll be right back. We've been talking about home videotape recorders, and as I was saying to John, and maybe you have the same problem, I have a home videotape recorder, but it's so complicated that I need a videotape to teach me how to use my videotape. Do they make those?
They actually have those, though they're expensive. I think it's easier just to ask the store for help. Most stores we called said they would come to your house, hook up the machine for you, show you how to use it. Some said they might charge you $20 or $30. Some will do it free.
You don't make house calls?
Not since I got steady work. But I do have some advice from the experts on buying and using these machines. Some of the advice may surprise you. First, list price is a joke. Don't pay list or suggested retail price. We called dozens of stores. The average prices were 20% below list. I'm sure they'd like to sell it to us for list price, but if you shop around at all, you can buy a $500 machine for about $400. Second, I've always assumed that if I wanted the best picture when taping something, I should buy brand new videotape, and that's what stores that sell this stuff have told me. In fact, the experts say that for complicated technical reasons, you may get a slightly better picture using tape you've used before. You don't need to buy new tape. Of course, after about 100 plays, the picture quality will get worse. Third, after time, your VCR picture will get snowy, like this. Probably means the video heads need cleaning. Video service centers will be happy to do that, but they'll charge you as much as $89 for it. But you don't need to spend all that money. For about $15, you can buy a special head cleaning cassette. Just insert it in the machine, press play, let it run for about 30 seconds, and that cleans the heads. You don't need to bring the machine into an expensive service center. The best pictures, by the way, are not on tape at all, but on laser discs, where the quality is unsurpassed, but you can't record on disc yet. Another tip, rewind your tapes after you use them and store them upright, like this, not lying down flat. Storing them upright keeps the edges of the tape from being damaged. And finally, when you buy new videotape, it's a good idea to fast forward it and then rewind it once before recording gets in the tape during shipping, and the slack can give you a bad picture. Does that help?
Yeah, very interesting, very informative. I thank you, and if you don't mind just repeating all of that, we'll tape it.
You should have taped it already.